Texas lawmakers want to pass SB 6, the bathroom bill, keeping transgender people from using the bathrooms that they identify with.
Now we can stop the bill, but there's only one way.
You've got to roll up your sleeves, pull down your pants, and pee with LGBT.
You got to take a seat to make a stand.
You got to spray it to say it.
Because this isn't a privacy issue.
And we can take care of ourselves.
Because money should be spent keeping kids in school, not out of bathrooms. Don't run in my hallway.
Because passing that bill discriminates against family and friends.
And me.
And that guy.
Because SB 6 threatens Texas businesses.
And because we damn sure ain't gonna end up like North Carolina.
IP.
IP with LGBT.
Because everybody pees, and everybody deserves a safe place.
Where to pee or not to pee? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the stings and constipation of outrageous forbidden, or to take up potty breaks against a sea of toilets, and by pooping in them, to piss, to poop, no more. And by a wipe we say wee, the buttache, and the 1,000 natural BMs. That flesh is air too. 'Tis a constipation proclamation. Well, it would seem that who can use which bathroom is back up for debate, since Trump has decided to revoke the Obama administration's guidelines to the public schools. You know, the one allowing the children to choose which bathroom to use according to their gender identity, or as I like to call it, the Constipation Proclamation. Well, Trump has rescinded those guidelines, even though they have already been put on hold by a federal judge, the argument being that the states and public schools should have the authority to make their own decisions without the federal government interfering. And as somebody who is a huge supporter of states' rights, I fully support this decision, and it should be left up to each individual state. Well, this of course has brought out your usual cast of unhinged protesters. I mean, really, this to me is only an outrage for people who have absolutely nothing to be outraged about. I mean, seriously, they are desperately looking for a new civil rights movement, and this is a very, very sad attempt at creating one. The PSA at the beginning of this video was from the activist group IP with LGBT, who are fighting against the Texas bathroom bill, SB 6, which states that everyone uses a bathroom based on their biological sex. Simply put, people with girl parts use a girl's room, people with boys parts use a boy's room. I mostly agree with this. I question the biological part, however. To me, people that have made the full transition from one sex to another, they should be able to use whichever restroom their new sexual assignment is. Which, according to the bill, it will allow transgenders who have made a full transition to use a bathroom with their new sex, but only provided that they change it legally on their birth certificate, which I didn't even know you could do. So they would have to show their birth certificate before being allowed to use the restroom? I would love to know how in the seven hells they plan to enforce that. Just as I would like to know also what it is the PSA at the beginning of this video is asking people to do. It sounds like they're asking for total bathroom anarchy. To make a point, I guess? And can we please, for the love of all things cute and cuddly, can we please just stop pushing our children to make a decision about whether or not they're transgender? It's hard enough growing up without us pushing bullshit like this on them. As if they're not already confused enough. Now we want them to choose if they're a boy or a girl. I mean, just let them be kids for fuck's sake. And just for the record, I will not learn or use 500 different gender pronouns. There are only two genders. I will only refer to you as him or her, and maybe it, if that tickles your fancy. So 3 pronouns is all I will ever use. But you know, now that I think about it, it might seem kind of offensive, so we can switch that one to other. So that's it. Him or her or other. Take your pick, because that's all you're going to get from me. There's no such thing as a gender assignment. You are either born male or female. It's not an assignment, it's just what you are. I am a bit confused as to how this is suddenly an issue. I mean, we do realize that transgender people have been using public restrooms for several decades without it ever being a problem, but now for some reason it's the new desegregation movement. Well, my opinion on this is pretty simple. If you pass for the gender that you want to be, then use the restroom for that gender. For example, this is popular YouTuber Blair White, a transgender conservative. Yeah, wrap your mind around that one for a minute. If you're not subscribed to her YouTube channel already, well, you should be, because she is pretty awesome. But if she had never said that she was a trans, I never would have guessed. I mean, look at that. Looks all woman to me. If I saw her heading to the woman's room right after my mom or wife or daughter went in there, I wouldn't give it a second thought. While on the other hand, this is Tim Curry in drag. Now, on a side note, this has nothing to do with how I feel about Tim Curry or the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think Curry is a damn fine actor, and Rocky Horror is my second favorite musical behind South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut. But if I was to see someone like this head into the girls' room right after somebody I cared about, I would be a bit alarmed, as I think most people would be. And that's not transphobic, it's just being vigilant when it comes to protecting those you care about. So to sum it up, Blair White, yes. Tim Curry in drag, no. This is one of the biggest non-issue issues I believe I've ever seen. I think if people just applied a little common sense and respect for societal norms, we can make it through this just fine without any government intervention. More government control is never a good thing. So I will end this video with some words of wisdom from Ronald Reagan on The Johnny Carson Show back in 1975. Tell us about it, Ronnie.
Well, Johnny, I think that one of the things is that people keep looking to government for the answer, and government's the problem. A moment ago, you asked, about people and feeling not only confused, but low and down in America. First of all, the American people, if they would just take a little inventory and look around, you triple our troubles, and we're better off than any other people on earth. And we've asked so much of government, and we've gotten in the habit over the last 40 years of thinking that government has the answers. There's very little that government can do as efficiently and as economically as the people can do themselves. And if government would shut the doors and sneak away for about 3 weeks, we'd never miss them.